fictional art for entertainment.
I woke up to the sound of my own groan, my head pounding like it was being squeezed in a bioorganic vice. It was only midday, but I felt like I'd been up for 48 hours straight, not just walking the climate-controlled rows of Dome 483. The exhaustion was bone deep, the kind that usually only came after a 14-hour shift reading through line after line of code before this ARIA 47S implant of mine. As I rubbed my temples, my ARIA 47S chip pulsed once, a cool, crystalline signal that cut through my headache like a knife. Technician Green, Section 329 is reporting plant health anomalies, ARIA hummed in my mind, her digital voice a gentle breeze on a summer day. Optical sensors indicate a 12% loss in leaf turgidity, though soil moisture and nutrient levels remain within standard limits. I sighed, already knowing that this was going to be one of those days. I'd been a B1 technician in this colony for over a month, and I've seen my fair share of anomalies. Okay, let's take a look, Arya, I said, already walking towards Section 329. Remind me, how many repairs have we logged since I enabled the optical sensor reports? 40 repairs have been successfully completed using your non-standard parameters, Arya replied, her tone carrying a hint of digital skepticism. I'd gotten used to Arya's sass, but it still made me chuckle. When I entered Section 329, the air hit me like a wet blanket. The humidity was incredibly high, turning the dome into a thick, misty soup. I muttered under my breath, my mind already racing with possibilities. Arya, the moisture sensor said this section was within limits. What does the manual say about a variance this thick? Arya's response was immediate, her digital voice laced with a hint of frustration. If you had not disabled the automatic manual reporting, you would have already been informed, Technician Green. Manual EF1 indicates that high-output Hydra sensors are set to maximum. It suggests using code 230 to recalibrate the atmospheric emitters. I rolled my eyes, already knowing that the manual wasn't going to give me the answers I needed. I walked towards the back wall, watching how the grow lights refracted through the heavy moisture. I could see it, a rhythmic flickering that wasn't in the lights themselves, but in the power draw. Manuals are for people who can't hear the ship sing, Arya, I said, rolling up my sleeves. I'd always been one to trust my instincts, and my instincts were telling me that this was a classic case of electromagnetic braid buffering. Having read the various manuals for Section 483, I have a sense of how things sometimes fit together, differently than what is the procedure. I use solutions of one thing to fix another. I pulled back the shielding paneling to reveal the guts of the station. It was a mess of wires and circuits, but I knew exactly what I was looking for. I reached in and began to physically braid the power lines, weaving them into a specific geometric pattern. I wasn't following a circuit diagram. I was using the room's own geometry to create a natural electromagnetic buffer, dampening the biological noise of the power grid. I asked Arya to read the numbers to me as I moved these cables around. Arya's voice was a gentle hum in the back of my mind, her processors shifting as the data stabilized. This procedure is not documented in any maintenance manual, Technician Green. However, biomass sensors are showing signs of immediate recovery. I finished the braid and tapped the junction box. Okay, Arya, run code 314. Arya's response was immediate, her digital voice firm but hesitant. Correction, Technician Green. Code 314 is a geometric resonance test, not a thermal reset. It is the incorrect sequence for this task. I grinned, leaning my head against the cool metal wall. Run it anyway, Arya. A low, harmonic hum vibrated through the dome, the mist beginning to settle instantly. The irrigation droids finally snapped out of their actions of over-misting, and on my HUD, the status for Section 329 shifted from a warning red to a steady violet blue. Issue resolved, I whispered, the silence in my head finally returning. I felt a sense of satisfaction, of a job well done. But as I looked at the long, glowing list of broken things that everyone else had given up on, I couldn't help but feel a sense of unease. I was a B1 technician on a colony, doing things my own way, and I was having more and more of these physically painful headaches. Arya, how many projects are left on my to-do list? I asked, already knowing the answer. You have 436 pending projects reported in your personal log, Alex, Arya replied, her digital voice soft but firm. A significant number of them have not been touched since you created them. I sighed, feeling the weight of my responsibilities bearing down on me. I was a problem solver, a fixer, but I was also human, and I couldn't help but wonder, why was I having so many of these headaches? Was it just stress, or was there something more to it? I pushed the thought aside, focusing on the task at hand. I had 436 projects to get through, and I was just getting started.
Dreaming with Eyes Open, Storydoy.